I wanted to talk to you about and show you a few of the new features and updates that we have made to leonardoenglish.com to make the process of listening and learning with our podcast, English Learning for Curious Minds, even better. So let me pull up my screen now. The first thing that we've done is we completely redid this podcast page, making it easier to both find the episodes that you're looking for and discover new ones. So in terms of finding the episodes you're looking for, obviously you can search like this. If you're looking for one on George Best, let's say, or something about Malta, and you can also search by episode number now, which is something you couldn't do before. So that's nice too. It's also much easier to discover new episodes. So for example, if you are preparing for an IELTS exam or preparing for a particular discussion, you can search for episodes in particular categories. So let's say philosophy. So there's lots of episodes on philosophy here, and you can see all the different categories there too. You can also search by tag. So there's probably 100 different tags if you want to listen to an episode that has Scotland mentioned in it, for example. We can see all these episodes here that talk about Scotland. And of course here you can filter by ones that are the member-only episodes or ones that we also have free transcripts for. So you can go and listen and learn with any of these episodes without having to register or become a member or anything like that. So that is a big update and something that people have been finding very useful. For the next couple of updates, I'll show you within an episode itself. So let's go into this one on the Nobel Prize. Now, I'll talk about some of the other functionality later, but a new thing that we did just a couple of months ago is that these timestamps are now clickable. So you can click on any of these and the audio will just jump to that section like this.
Instead of writing the obituary for the recently deceased Ludwig Nobel, it published the obituary. Don't worry, we'll come to why they might. His father, Emmanuel.
Okay, so that's how it works. You might think, why is this important? Why is it interesting? Well, lots of people use our podcast and our platform for shadowing practice, where you repeat after the speaker to try to improve your pronunciation and your speaking confidence. And being able to do this is super helpful because you can just go to target sentences and work again and again and again with that particular sentence without having to kind of press pause and rewind and so on. So let's say, for example, we want to do this one.
His father,
Emmanuel Nobel, was an inventor and engineer.
His
father, Emmanuel Nobel, was an inventor and engineer. His father, Emmanuel Nobel,
was an
Okay, you get the idea. But it's super helpful for shadowing practice, which, as I'm sure you know, is one of the most effective ways of improving your pronunciation and your overall speaking confidence. The next thing we've done is something that will be popular with the ChatGPT fans, which is that you can just click this button here and it will copy the entire transcript. So why this is helpful for ChatGPT and AI-based learning aficionados is that it makes it so much easier to work with podcast episodes and AI together. Now, I made another video about this. You can click here or also put it in the description for this video. But to give you an example, let's say you want to work on phrasal verbs and you want to extract and test your knowledge on all of the phrasal verbs that appeared in a podcast episode. You could do something like this. You go to ChatGPT and you could say, I want to test my knowledge. And then here comes the magic. Instead of having to go back and select all the text, I just go Command or Control V like this, and there we go. Okay, so it's created what looks like quite a good 10-question quiz on phrasal verbs that tests your knowledge based on the podcast episode that you've just listened to. And in fact, you could combine this with the clickable transcripts functionality. So for example, you could say something like, I am a B2 learner. Okay, so let's look at response 2. Looks a bit better here. And it's given us the timestamps. So we can say, okay, let's just go to 3:25.
And like many legends, this one is no doubt retold.
Which is quite nice. So we don't have to worry about kind of finding stuff to shadow with. We can just copy the entire transcript and get ChatGPT to do the grunt manual work for us. And of course, we need to do the shadowing to actually do the learning ourselves. Okay, so those are the 3 main things you probably will have seen if you are a regular user to our platform, and you might not have seen if you are not that regular or if you just discovered it. We also pushed a big update to the way that translations are handled on mobile, so the website and all the functionality works really well on mobile devices as well now. Before it was a little bit fiddly, and now, as you can see in this video, it works really, really nicely. And I'll just show you a few of the other things that you can do that you might not have been aware of with the website, and how it's just a much superior way to listen and learn rather than just listening on podcast apps. So, of course, you can have the subtitles here.
Like it could be true. An elderly man sees how he will be remembered.
Which is quite nice just to follow along. You can also download the transcript and key vocabulary PDF study pack. So this has the full annotated transcript, a big list of key vocabulary. They also now have language spotlight sections. So there's more detailed information provided on 5 different, more advanced words or phrases, things like down on her luck, paid off, at stake, those kind of phrasal verbs, expressions, those kinds of things. And there's also a quiz, which has comprehension, multiple choice questions. It's got true or false stuff. It's got fill in the blank. The idea is that it's a really good way to help you test your knowledge and understanding. And on the website itself, you can choose a language. So let's say we're choosing Spanish, and you can select any piece of text and get the translation in your selected language. So let's say like this. So it's very helpful if you want an entire sentence translated. We also provide custom definitions of around 100 words per episode. And these are the purple ones. So you can just hover your cursor over those and they will give you the definition in English. If you want the definition in your language, you can click on it too. Now, this is episode number 563. I think we're almost up to 570 or so now. And there's an average of around 100 words per episode. So you do the maths, that's over 50,000 words and phrases. Of course, some of them are duplicates. The same ones are repeated over multiple episodes. But I think there's around 22,000 unique words and phrases, which are typically from B1 upwards. So if you listen to every single episode and you learn every single word, then you will practically be a native speaker. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's what you should do, but we've spent almost 6 years making this vast collection. So there is a lot that you can learn from. And final thing before I forget, as people quite often ask me, you can also change the speed of the podcast if you want to challenge yourself, put it at 1.5, let's say.
And wants to do something to change it. As to whether it is true I will leave you to come to your own conclusions. But to understand why, this then 54-year-old...
Or you can even put it even higher.
...described as a merchant of debt, and why he might have decided he wanted to do something about it. We need to go right back to the start. He was born...
And of course, if you find it a little bit too difficult, you can put it down a little bit.
In 1833, in Stockholm, Sweden.
And of course, the subtitles sync correctly based on the speed that you have selected. Okay, so that is what is new in 2025, and a quick reminder of how the listening and learning process works with our website. I got a bunch of new pieces of feedback of additional features that you'd like, or ways in which we can continue to improve the product from a survey that we did in the summer. So I've been very busy going through that and planning out how we can take all of that excellent feedback and make the product even better for you. And if you want to check this out for yourself, we've got a bunch of free podcasts, a bunch of free transcripts that you can use. I'll put a link down below. So just go and check them out. It's completely free. No registration or anything like that is required. And let me know in the comments below how you use our resources. I hear from so many amazing people in terms of the different ways in which they listen and learn with the resources that we provide. I remember talking to someone who tried to do simultaneous translation from English to Mandarin while listening to the episodes, which I thought was pretty amazing. So if you've got a funky way, then add it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.